Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to cut through the clutter and give you those key insights you need.
Yeah, helping you get informed, fast and deep, maybe spark a few aha moments along the way.
Exactly. And today we are plunging right into India's digital scene.
We're looking at some recent news and also digging into Reliance Geo Infocom's 2024 annual report. A big player, obviously.
That's right. We've got info from the Economic Times, ET Now, plus the very detailed annual report itself.
So a good mix of sources.
Yep. Think of this as your shortcut to understanding the important stuff about Geo Financial Services' recent stock activity and the bigger picture at Reliance Geo Infocom, their performance, what they're up to.
Without the information overload, our mission is just to pull out those essential nuggets for you.
Okay, let's get into it then.
Right. Let's kick things off with Geo Financial Services. There's been some noise around market dynamics lately.
Ah, you mean the Nifty Index rejig. I saw some
That
headlines on that.
Exactly. It's interesting how these, well, seemingly technical adjustments can actually move quite a bit of money around.
Right. So this reshuffle happened around, what, March 27th?
Yeah.
And the forecast was for Geo Financial Services, GeoFin, to see inflows of maybe $200 million.
Yeah, something like that. And it's important to understand why. It's not like GeoFin suddenly announced amazing new results driving this specifically.
Okay.
It's more about passive investment mechanics, those funds that just track an index.
Index funds, right.
Well, when the index changes, they have to change their holdings to match. So if GeoFin's weighting goes up or it gets added to an index they track.
They automatically have to buy shares. Passive buying.
Precisely. That forces the inflow. It's automatic portfolio adjustment.
Like dominoes.
Yeah.
And the Economic Times mentioned this lined up with the Nifty derivatives expiry, too. Did that add fuel to the fire?
It likely did, yeah.
No.
Expire dates always mean more trading activity as people close out or roll over positions.
So settling contracts and stuff?
Right. And having the index rejig happen at the same time probably just amplified the overall trading volume.
Makes sense. The article mentioned others, too, didn't it? Just for context.
It did. Zomato was actually expected to see even bigger inflows, and then you had Britannia and Part Petroleum facing outflows because they were leaving certain indices.
And adjustments for Grasim and Bajaj Finance. Okay, so GeoFin was part of a bigger market shuffle.
Exactly. Helps to see the context.
Definitely. Now, slightly different angle, ET now flags something. A RS 10,000 crore mega milestone for Geo Financial with a 5,680% jump. That sounds huge.
It does sound huge. The specifics of what exactly that milestone was or what metric jumped 5,680% weren't really detailed in the bits we saw.
Okay, so the headline grabs you, but the what is a bit fuzzy.
Right. But, I mean, a number like that, even without specifics, strongly suggests something pretty substantial happened. Major growth or big achievement unlocked for GeoFin.
Yeah, 5,080% isn't exactly pocket change, is it? It makes you wonder, new product, big partnership, or maybe just how they value something changed.
Could be any of those. It's definitely something to watch for more details on in, future updates or reports.
Absolutely. Okay, let's pivot now to the main engine, Reliance Geo Infocom itself. The connectivity, the infrastructure. The annual report gives us a lot here.
And a huge headline from the report is the completion of their planned true 5G rollout across India.
That's massive. A nationwide 5G network.
It really is. And their stated focus, according to the report, is on delivering an unmatched customer experience.
So not just planting flags on a map, but making sure the service is actually good.
Seems to be the goal, yeah. Quality and performance, not just coverage. Though, the next big question is always monetization, right? How do they turn that massive 5G investment into revenue? What new things will run on it?
Good question. And they're not stopping there, are they? The report also talked about speeding up the transformation of fixed broadband.
Correct. With both GeoFiber, their fiber to the home service, and also GeoAirFiber.
AirFiber, that's the wireless one.
Yeah, using their wireless network to deliver broadband speeds, especially usable where laying physical fiber is, tricky or expensive. It's a two-pronged attack on the broadband market.
Smart. Covering different bases.
Yeah.
And what about the business side? Enterprise connectivity.
Seems like they're making real inroads there. The report mentions consistent gain in enterprise connectivity market share and growing their presence in key sectors, BFSI banking, financial services, insurance, plus government and manufacturing.
Yeah.
Pretty crucial areas.
Definitely. So how deep is that penetration?
Well, they state they're serving approximately 85% of large named enterprises in India. That's
Right.
Quite a claim.
85%. Wow. And are these businesses just using basic connectivity?
Apparently not just that. About a third of those clients are using 2 or more geo services, so they're deepening those relationships, offering more solutions.
Bundling services. And they mentioned big deals too.
Yeah, marquee deals signed with government institutions, banks, automotive companies, utilities.
Yeah.
Getting those big names on board really builds credibility.
It suggests those organizations trust Geo with their often complex needs. Security, reliability must be paramount there.
Absolutely. Winning those contracts says a lot. But it's not just the giants they're after.
Right, the SMB market. Small and medium businesses.
Yeah, the report flags that as a large addressable market, still lots of potential there.
And they're using the expanded fiber and air fiber networks to reach them.
That seems to be the plan. Leveraging that deeper network presence. They mentioned seeing significant traction already in places like schools, retail stores, professional services.
That's a diverse bunch. So many businesses need reliable internet now.
Totally, it's fundamental. And Geo's ability to offer different solutions, fiber or wireless, gives them flexibility in targeting these SMBs.
Okay, one more thing on connectivity and BIoT.
Ah, yes, Narrowband Internet of Things. They're using their existing nationwide 4G network for this.
And this is for connecting lots of small, simple devices, right? Not needing full high-speed internet.
Exactly. Think smart sensors, things that just need to send small bits of data infrequently using very little power. Smart meters for utilities.
Tracking assets, maybe smart lighting in cities?
Security sensors, agricultural monitors, all sorts of applications.
And doing it on the 4G network means they don't need a whole separate infrastructure build-out for this IoT stuff.
Right. It's about leveraging the assets they already have to tap into that growing IoT ecosystem. Smart move.
Makes sense. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's look at the financial year 2023-24. Financials, operations, governance. Starting with CSR, corporate social responsibility.
Right. The report is quite detailed here. Their CSR obligation for the year was just over 400 crore. About 402.99 crore.
And they spent?
They spent 403 crore, so met the obligation.
Good. What kind of projects did they focus on? The report mentioned impact assessments.
Yes, conducted by independent agencies, which is good practice. The Women Connect Challenge India, for example, seems to have had real impact. Well, they reported a 76% increase in internet access for the women involved, more comfort using digital tools.
That's significant.
And interestingly, a 78% increase in their contribution to household expenses, plus better access to information, markets for entrepreneurs, even positive shifts in gender norms were reported.
Wow, that sounds genuinely impactful. It makes you wonder, though, about the long term, right? How sustainable are these benefits?
That's always the key question with CSR, ensuring it's not just a short-term fix. The report also highlights their sports program, Reliance Foundation Sports for Development.
What do the assessments say there?
Very positive feedback. 98% of the athletes felt the training was superior. High effectiveness reported in skill development. Seems well regarded.
Okay. Any other major CSR areas mentioned?
Yes. The Drishti program for vision care. Corneal transplants showed significant quality of life improvements, less pain, better ability to do daily tasks, more social participation.
Truly life-changing stuff.
Definitely. And also support for the National Cancer Institute in Nagpur, helping patients from Maharashtra and nearby states. High satisfaction reported with the facilities there.
So a range of initiatives with some measured impact, moving inside the company now. Internal financial controls. Anything interesting there?
Pretty standard, but sounds robust. They mention key controls are documented, automated, embedded in processes. And they use a 3 lines of defense model for assurance.
Which means?
Basically, layers of oversight. Management's own checks, then internal risk and compliance functions, and finally, independent internal audit. It's a common framework for ensuring financial integrity.
Got it. And the board, how active were they?
They held 4 board meetings. The audit committee, which is crucial for financial oversight, met 9 times.
And who's on that committee?
All independent directors. People like Adel Zainulpai as chairman, Professor Deepak Jain, Professor Mohanbir Sawhney, quite experienced individuals. And importantly, the report says all the recommendations were accepted by the main board.
That suggests the committee has real teeth and influence.
It does. Shows effective oversight. Other committees mentioned too, nomination and remuneration, looking at director performance, succession planning.
Risk management, covering ESG risks as well.
Right. And CSR committee, stakeholders relationship committee, finance committee. Seems like a comprehensive governance structure.
Okay. What about environmental efforts? Energy conservation.
Yes, quite a bit on this. They're focusing on reducing energy use and emissions at both small sites like towers and large ones like data
How
centers.
are they doing that?
A range of things,
Yeah.
using energy efficient gear, lithium-ion batteries instead of older types, motion sensors for lighting.
Smart tech.
Yeah, and some network level stuff too, like dynamically shutting down certain network bands when traffic is low,
No.
optimizing generator use, using free cooling in data center
Free cooling, just using outside air.
when conditions allow. Yeah, saves a
Yeah.
lot on air conditioning. They also installed a pretty big solar project, 35 megawatt peak in Karnataka.
That's substantial. A serious investment in renewables.
Cost about 146 crore. And they're even piloting hydrogen fuel cell tech. Looking ahead.
So a clear push towards efficiency and renewables. What about foreign exchange? Any figures there?
Yep, a quick snapshot. Foreign exchange earned was 1,527 crore, but foreign exchange outgo was higher at 2,910 crore.
Spending more foreign currency than they're earning. Is that typical?
For a company investing heavily in infrastructure, often importing equipment or technology, it's not necessarily unusual. You'd expect significant capital expenditure, some of which would involve foreign currency. It's a net outflow, but likely tied to their expansion.
Okay. Something driven by investment
Oh.
and ethics and governance generally.
They reiterate having a comprehensive code of conduct, various policies, the committee structure we discussed, all pointing towards efforts for responsible business practices.
Standard governance boilerplate, maybe, but important to state. Leadership mentioned.
Key figures like Akash Ambani as chairman, Isha Ambani as a non-executive director are noted, plus a diverse board. And they explicitly mention succession planning initiatives are in place.
Planning for the future. Good. One last big area from the report. Digital skilling.
Right, this connects back to their wider societal impact. The Women Connect Challenge with USAID seems quite extensive.
Reaching hundreds of thousands of women.
Over 350,000 in the second round, apparently, focusing on digital literacy, entrepreneurship, financial inclusion.
And other programs too.
Yes, one with the GSMA providing training for rural women and marginalized groups, and they're a founding partner in an EdTech accelerator called Lifted,
Was the goal there.
enhancing foundational literacy and numeracy for kids from low-income communities, aiming to reach 2.5 million children by 2025.
So quite broad digital inclusion efforts.
Definitely. And they've picked up some awards for this stuff, too. A DEI Inspire Award, Great Place to Work certification, Brandon Hall Awards for learning programs, and the Women Connect Initiative.
Recognition for those efforts. Okay, quite a comprehensive look. Let's try and wrap this up. What are the main takeaways from this deep dive?
Okay, key points. For Geo Financial Services, expect significant passive inflows from that nifty rejig, plus they hit some kind of major, though unspecified, milestone.
Right. And for Reliance Geo Infocom itself.
Big one is the completed true 5G rollout nationwide. Strong push on fixed broadband with fiber and air fiber, growing significantly in the enterprise market.
Okay.
Then there's the CSR side, clear impact reported in women's empowerment, sports, vision care, healthcare access, a real commitment shown to energy saving and renewables, like that big solar plant.
And the digital skilling.
Exactly. Investing heavily in digital literacy and education across different groups.
So for our listeners, what does all this mean? It really paints a picture of RJIL as, well, absolutely central to India's digital transformation, doesn't it?
It does. It's not just about the tech infrastructure, the pipes and speeds, but also how they're engaging with enterprise, with society through CSR, and looking at sustainability. It's a wide-ranging influence.
Absolutely. Which leads us to maybe a final thought to chew on.
Yeah, think about the connection, the synergy between their tech push, like 5G enabling new things, fiber reaching more homes, and these social initiatives like digital skilling.
How do those two sides feed each other?
Exactly. How might advanced connectivity and improved digital literacy combine to accelerate India's growth or development in maybe unexpected ways? What doors does that combination open?
Interesting question. How technology and social impact could multiply each other. Definitely something to ponder.
If this discussion sparked your interest, do check out the RJIL 2024 annual report or the news articles. Lots more detail there.
For sure. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.